What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Twinbill podcast. Obviously, we haven't been on for 2 weeks because we were in Florida. So before that, I'd like to introduce my special guest to my left, Zach Hampel. Zach, it's such an honor for you to be on this podcast.
You think you're a fucking funny guy, you know. Hold on, let me go make a statement about how the Rockies fan experience is terrible. But what's going on?
Let me also say he also got banned from a college baseball team. Let me look it up. It was called the Portland Pickles.
I mean,
it's called a collegiate wood bat baseball team.
Whatever the fuck that means. I mean, I know they use metal bats, but I don't know. It's weird like that. But shouts to everybody in the chat: Jason, Don, Josh, Joe, Eric. I may have said Don, but I'll say Don again. Victor, share this out, like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops or a video drops. Yes, Zach Hampel versus Marcus Stroman. That's me, right? Also, buy your tickets. NyynewsTV Day. Me and Luca today after.
You haven't bought them already.
Me and Luca today after this episode, we are going to post some posters, flyers, whatever the fuck you want to call them. To go in the neighborhood and do that. So get your best to share that out as always. Even though you introduced me as Zach Hampel, and that's not very nice. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Obviously, you know, things other than baseball, I guess, have been solid. Let's just start with baseball first. The Yankees have been rather inconsistent. You know, they're winning this day, they're losing the next day. Obviously, losing the series, not losing, but you could technically call it a loss. Evening the series against the A's is not what you want to do in Oakland. Plus, they are the worst baseball team in MLB. So that just makes less impressive or more depressing, should I call it. And right now, they're about to they can either win or lose the series tonight against the Angels. Garrett Cole is on the mound. And, of course, Garrett Cole had the blow-up how many weeks ago? So, yeah.
And to know he's not a very good road pitcher this year.
Nope. But I think he will get help. He's going to get the Montas help. He's going to – oh, that's right. Never mind. I'm completely stupid. I thought we were playing in Oakland again, but nope. So
I don't know what you were thinking right there. Eric says, I'm confused. I thought Zach gave most of the balls away. Am I missing something? Well, to be fair, the person who originally called me Zach Hampel, not Luca, is a big Zach Hampel fan. So he did mention the other day to me that he knows that I'm not a fan of Zach Hampel. He even still talks to me about him. He's like, oh, did you see the Marcus Stroman thing? I'm like, no, I didn't. I'm like, do I really care, though? I don't know. Pete says in the chat, Orioles calling up top prospect Gunnar Henderson.
I was just about to mention that.
I wish we would call up our
top prospects too.
Yep, they called up Cabrera, but they can't call Peraza. I mean, that's like skipping K to 4 and going directly to high school.
What's funny is people still believe that Volpe will be here next year. I'm starting to doubt that more and more and more because they delayed Peraza. And Alex, you forgot something. Hal is interested in a soccer team. So any excuse about money should be completely wiped away. If you're a Yankee fan that still believes the Hal excuse that money's tight, he is bullshitting you. He has a bridge to sell you. And it's a falling bridge. It's going to collapse.
Very faulty at that.
It is.
Shots to the Kerm. Shots to Kerm. What's going on? Joey's right. We will be at the stadium September 9th for Jeter night. It'll be very exciting. It'll be me, Luca, and Killer Joe. But nonetheless, even though I don't have too much interest in soccer, I'll keep it at that because we probably have some soccer fans in the chat, and I don't want to be disrespectful.
Was it AC Milan? Same thing with LeBron. He's doing something regarding that.
Right, but the thing, even though a lot of people like get on LeBron, at least he's won like championships and shit.
Exactly.
How, since he's
He already
taken
has
over,
other
hasn't done
investments, so
squat?
nobody really. He already has other investments. So nobody really cares.
Right, but Hal here is putting his money on a sport where you run across the field to 1 hour and then back the other way for another hour. But that's my criticism of soccer. It's not as bad as golf though, or lacrosse. But it just shows you where Hal is mentally, where his priorities are, how it's
He
a
has
money
no
game.
idea. He has no idea what the day-to-day operations look like for this team. It's like, you know what? I got Cashman and Randy Levine. I think I'm all good.
Right. And I wonder if they get along. I don't know if they do. I'm not going to speculate, but you know, it's it's just depressing. It's not surprising though that this man has bought into soccer more than he's bought into the Yankees. And when the product's not right on the field, well, you're going to get criticism, and he should get criticism all the way. Luca, what are you smiling about?
Zach, I thought you were supposed to be. I thought your profession was catching baseballs and giving them to the kids, and not talking about the Yankees or podcasting.
Yeah, you're a real funny guy.
You got to turn this into what Let's Talk Jets Radio did how many years ago?
Yeah. So Joe says, Hal bought my enemy's team. Fuck him, Juventus all the way. I'll also be at the game on the 7th. I'm gonna fist fight Cashman. Yeah.
How about those box seats, Joe? How about those press seats that you were talking about? That you got. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
And then Jason says, can't wait to see that, Joe. So if you want to go into our first subject,
we got to talk about the rotation of the bullpen. Everybody's starting to fall off. So injuries wise, Jameson Taillon leaves the game yesterday, throws 2 innings, and gets hit by line drive, right forearm contusion. So we don't know how long it will be. Obviously, Jameson Taillon's pretty injury prone, let's be real, but also that's kind of a freak injury.
well, I mean, yeah, he got hit by a line drive. It's not like he tore something when he stepped off the mound.
He was grimacing in pain as he was leaving the game. So that tells you everything. We don't know how long he'll be out. There's no fracture. The x-rays were negative for a fracture. So again, there's no updated news at this point, but we will see what happens. He's also a free agent at the end of the season. So
yeah, I mean, if he's out for like a start or two, I mean, I'm wondering who goes in for him. I'm actually going to take a look at the roster right now, see how this rotation shapes up, if anything, because we know obviously last Sunday, Nestor gave up a couple of runs. Not Nestor. I know he's on the IL. Clark Schmidt. I'm thinking of young guys. Clark Schmidt, he gave up a couple of runs. You take Taillon out of the thing. So your bullpen looks like this right now. Looks like Anthony Banda, which I didn't even know they signed him till a few days ago. Jonathan Loaisiga, Lidge, Marinaccio, Peralta, Trevino, Weissert, and Clay Holmes, who is back. He is, I think, yet to pitch, if I'm correct about that. I don't know if I am, but yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see, or is Nestor eligible to come off the IL? I mean, I don't know how long he's
making progress. I think I heard something about that. Like he's going to throw a bullpen.
I mean,
proves he might be off the IL next week. He threw his first bullpen since the injury, and Nestor Cortez proves he's not faking injury. He's not faking the injury, which is a, as Donald called it, a phantom IL stint.
And what is it to do, Luca?
It is to give. It's the innings limit. It is clearly the innings limit.
Yeah. So there's that. How about we talk about something else too? 2 of the highest paid relievers going down again.
Zach Britton got injured. What was it? He was pitching for single, high, or double A. Goes down with an injury. I'll give you guys more information on that. Rehab setback. Let's see. Let's see where he was. Get this tab right here. He was in appearance with low A Tampa and had a leg cramp. Britton said in an email, arm feels great though. Whole body's getting back into playing shape. It's hot and humid there. So I guess he blamed the humidity.
So basically, it was a phantom. I can't say it was a phantom injury, but it was a minor injury.
I guess, but I'm not even gonna. I don't want Britton back this season, and I don't expect him to be back this season.
Right.
Same with Chapman. I don't know what about Chapman because let's get a tattoo in the middle of the season, bro. Let's get a tattoo in the middle of the season. You had to get your tattoo.
He must have, and I understand like he was getting it to tribute to his sister or something like that, but like A, in the season, B, who'd you get it from that you got an infection that's causing an IL stint? That's just my opinion on things. You were going to say something?
No, I was going to continue. We also have the Jonathan Loaisiga stuff. Loaisiga's pretty well. Last 15 games appeared 0-1 with a 1.5 ERA, 0.92 whip, 9 Ks in 12 innings, 4 walks, 2 earned runs, and 7 hits. So maybe you're starting to see Loaisiga come out of his shell a little bit. Obviously, he was not himself anywhere near close to start the season and towards the middle of the season when he came back from the IL. Hopefully, this is the Loaisiga we see. He's been pretty shut down since, I'd say the latter end of July, possibly.
Yeah, well, I mean, Weisert's come along.
Weisert's also been good too.
Weisert's come along. So this bullpen has been okay in certain situations. I mean, obviously, remember we had what was it? Not the 8. It wasn't 18 innings. What was the fucking game? 11 innings or something like that?
Against
the A's.
11 or 12 innings.
Yeah, one of those things. So it was who was it? It was Marinacci who gave the 2-run homer to Stephen Vogt, out of all people. Luke is doing something in the background. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Looks like he's getting an air pump, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you don't have the headphones on.
Oh no, I completely forgot about them, but that's okay. I like talking like this.
Okay. So you had Marinacci give up the run, and then what was it? Peralta gave up the final run, the single or whatever it was.
Yeah.
The error. Yeah. So I mean that's
I'm telling you, this bullpen is a ticking time bomb. They're not, I don't think they're, I've changed my mind. I don't think they're as bad as the Mets because the Mets are a clown show when it comes to the bullpen, but I think you get a little more good out of the Yankee bullpen. And now that Clay Holmes is off the IL, you hope he's going to do good things. And so far he has.
I fucking hate Windows. Shut the fuck up.
Oh,
Windows does not need to give me updates right now. I'm using a different computer. Hence, you could probably hear the fucking sound. Fucking annoying. Anyway, how about this whole Montas shit?
Frankie Montas has been nothing but a disappointment. And one of my guys, I'm going to look up the exact tweet right now because he made a very good point that unfortunately might be true. KS Montas. All right. He says, Frankie Montas reminds me of all the other big name pitchers that could not crack it here in New York. Pavano, Vasquez, Brown, Gray, Pineda, etc. The list goes on and on and on.
Sonny Gray.
All hype, but what?
Sonny Gray.
Sonny Gray. Oh, he said Sonny Gray, Carl Pavano, Javier Vasquez, Kevin Brown, Michael Pineda, etc. The list goes all hype, but cannot mentally get over the hump.
I just don't understand it. Like, I don't know. I mean, people are going to go out there and say, well, good, they got Montas and, they didn't have to give up too much for him. And we would have to given up Volpe for Castillo. I would have given up Volpe for Castillo. I say that 100 out of 100 times, okay? That's a shortstop with potential. He's fulfilled at the minor league level.
Yeah.
Not at the major league level, at the minor league level. So, and then excuse me, weirdly enough, These are the same people that come out here and say, well, Monty should have never been traded. I just don't find that as a relevant
I don't
point.
agree with that. Well, my problem with the trade is wasn't Monty at all. It was because of the lack of security in the back end of the rotation. I still worried about Tyone. The Yankees pulled out of the Pablo Lopez deal, which I'm still pissed about because Gleyber Torres was in it, and that was your best time to trade for a starter. And listen, Herman's been fine. He's held down the fort nicely. But obviously, Clark Schmidt, he got a chance to start. He's injured right now. Well, is he injured? No.
Who?
Schmidt, I don't think he is, right?
To my knowledge, no.
Okay, well, he just struggled in the start against the A's, so he got his first taste of the medicine this year, which he should have been starting a lot earlier. But I was just worried about the back end of the rotation. Obviously, Nestor's injured now, so I think it's Cole. Obviously, Severino's still out, God willing. You obviously got Schmidt, obviously got Tyone, who's now injured. So the injuries are starting to pile up. Let's see what the Yankees do.
Now, let me ask. What's our lead looking like in the division?
It was 6.5 before the win yesterday. It's now 7. Tampa Bay is getting closer and closer. There's 71 wins.
6.5. Jesus.
I didn't think it was 6.5 before the win, so it's now 7.
Okay, well, 7. We had how many? What was it? 11, 12, 13 game lead. Remember that?
That's what happens when you take months off. Everybody take July off. You take an August off for some of the parts, but this team doesn't want to win. That's what it's been stressed to all of you.
No, I mean it's pretty obvious when your owner's going out there and
buying a fucking soccer team
and purchasing stakes in a soccer team, and then this team looks like trash.
And then we're going to hear the excuse at the end of the year the Yankees didn't have enough money to pay Judge, or the Yankees weren't willing to pay Judge. Okay, well, Hal just bought a soccer team. So you know what? Every media excuse, every report of bullshit, the media carries a lot of water for the Yankees. So
more than any other, I'm sorry, more than any other franchise that I root for, at least that I know of. Like, I don't see the media carrying too much water for the Giants. Maybe they do, and I just don't recognize it. But I've never in my life seen that the media would carry so much water for an organization. And that's what they do for the Yankees. They don't ask them tough questions. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, they're the slaves. They carry the water.
Yeah. CWE Bed-Stuy, what's going on? What's going on, Zach Brownish as well. Keep your questions coming as well. Helps us out. Also get those likes up. We're around 33, 34, 35 people. Let's get those likes to 30. I remember we reached 100 on our last live stream episode before Florida. And I want to talk about, and also the excuse at the end of the year, Luca, and I've seen this on Twitter already, so you already know the homers are out, is that the players aren't good enough. Players aren't good enough. Like, the players are underperforming.
We heard that in the middle of the season last year, Alex, and what did we do? Nothing. We didn't do nothing about it. So, literally, it goes into a few things. The Yankees have done this last. Let's also mention this. Did you see you obviously saw the report that Cashman's probably coming back, right? If the Yankees do that, they don't give a damn about winning. They just
it's like saying that you and I breathe air. It's pretty obvious. He is coming back.
And that just shows their lack of determined to win ball games, or at least win championships, because they don't care. As long as they get the butts in the seats, the chicken buckets sell, and Aaron Judge is hitting home runs until
your company men
season. What?
And your company men.
And your company men talk. Well, you know what? It's not even that. They tweet the tweet, and they do their breakdown videos. Nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to care. And if the Yankees take a hit and Rizzo and Judge are gone this offseason, they'll be fine for a wild card spot. And nobody wants that, obviously. But still, the Yankees have a lot of money coming off the books this offseason. So it's going to be pivotal. Absolutely.
They got to make some move, though. They got to make some move.
I mean, Our buddy Dal brought it up on Boys in the Big Apple. It's funny because Paul O'Neill brought a better sales pitch to Judge than Cashman ever did, or Hal.
If anything, it's like Hal and Cashman are the opponent in that situation.
They are the opponent. They are the opponent.
Because they want everything crashing down. Joe says, I pray to God Rizzo opts out. That would leave us with Matt Carpenter at first base. And coming off of an injury with a phantom year, I'm not trusting that at all. We don't have any first basemen.
See, you know what scares me about that, Alex? It's one of those one-year wonders. You know, we carried on with that for a few years. You know, we had Mike Ford, you know, all these different guys like Talkman and Estrada. Carpenter was cut by the Rangers for a reason, but it's a miracle that the Yankees have kind of gotten this production from him. And you got to find it. Listen, Josh Bell is available. Josh Bell is available in the offseason, but this again, how much does he want? And will the Padres re-sign him?
Right. That also comes into play. And I know Joe says DJ is my first baseman next year. There's a lot of things to put around that, though, because what if they do trade Glaber for Pablo Lopez? Then DJ is slated to be your second baseman. And we're not necessarily, confident in either Oswaldo Cabrera immediately starting the season at third, second, or short. He plays one of those positions. Peraza hasn't even been called up yet, and he's major league ready. But then again, he could be gone in that trade, and a lot of Yankee fans will be happy. But if he plays in Miami, he plays in Miami. And that's better for the player than for the team, I guess. I don't know.
His value is sunk, so he clearly needs a new start.
Clearly. And God knows when Volpe's coming up. But for people saying, that it's the players and all that stuff on Twitter and the homers coming out, Josh Donaldson, IKF, was that the best offseason? They literally did what they did last year. And that's do nothing in the offseason.
Again, Alex, we said it way earlier. We said if the Donaldson IKF move has a follow-up, then it makes sense, but it doesn't.
No.
The only follow-up move that I saw was Trevino because Rorvet was injured, and he's sitting down in AAA sucking.
And what was I going to say? Because I see Joe's coming out with Sopranos references. He says, I was in Miami. You remember that scene in Sopranos? I believe I do. I got 2 more episodes on that, by the way, before I finish up. So, Joe says we have Donaldson, Cabrera, Peraza, IKF. Okay, so there's 2 things that come with that. IKF is probably playing over Peraza to start next year, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think they're bringing Peraza immediately. They're going to say, well, he needs another year of experience in AAA. Well,
he literally said this offseason, and I was deleting documents in terms of notes and stuff on Google Docs. What I bumped into is when I did a video on Oswald Peraza, and that was Brian Cashman saying Oswald Peraza could play shortstop in the big leagues right now.
Yeah, how come he's not? Is IKF an improvement? I don't think so. But Cashman is has a bridge to sell us. We're just trying to sell us a certain bridge, but
he's trying to sell us some faulty house or whatever. I can't even.
He's a used car salesman, just like Hal is. That's what he is. Tell me I'm wrong. He's a used car salesman. He's an insurance agent. Scumbags.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what it is. But I was going back and I was saying beforehand, they do nothing in the offseason. Then they go to the trade deadline and they rush to the trade deadline and make all these trades.
And, everybody's happy about that. Yeah, fine. But some of that you had to do because you just fucked up because the team went back to reality.
Trade Torres for a starting pitcher, I would trade him for a box of chocolates at this point. Glaber sucks, okay? Glaber sucks. What is he hitting in his last few games, Luca? Let's do that research. Guys, to Alexander Gordon, the ultimate IKF stand.
As I said, back to reality, up there goes gravity. I have to include some Eminem in there.
Why?
Because I can. Glaber Torres on the season, I'm just going to say 242, 18 homers, 50 RBIs, 715 OPS, which is kind of trash. Last how many games?
Last 7.
Last 7, 172. Last 15, 180. Last 30, 180.
I just don't understand how. I don't like the glow you boys have. I hope you boys stayed away from the MILF muff. Okay. Whatever that means.
South of the border, down Mexico way.
Where the tuna fish play. I don't know why Luca pulled that out, but if you're talking like we didn't get any tan, that's just the lights. Okay, Luca's got the window open, so yeah,
Not
we
exactly.
definitely
It's just the lights are kind of showing because I didn't fully cover up the curtain.
right. We got Zach Campbell and Slim Shady on NyynewsTV. Never ever on another channel though. Never ever
This
on
doesn't
another
happen
channel.
anywhere else. That's why you got to come here.
Exactly. But Luca, if you want to take it, also, guys, questions help a lot in terms of progression of the show. Luca, if you want to go into our next topic.
So we have the management. Obviously, big issue. Yankee lineup inconsistencies. Obviously, it's a kind of a dead topic.
Yesterday's lineup wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't. But it's just, we've said it all these past 4 years. Lineup inconsistencies. Players are not finding their niche when they're moving around in the order, and they're not, and it's obviously leads to inconsistencies. So obviously that's a big problem on management. We've said it all this time, and nothing's really changed, even though Boone is claimed to have more control. But I think Mike Fishman and the analytic geeks are still in his ear.
Well, that prompts a question, which I'll talk about in a minute. Shouts to Hirsch. We are doing good, Alexander. We are doing good today. We'll be posting some flyers outside and playing basketball. Then I'll be going to a concert later, so that's gonna be fun. Shouts to Anthony Garcia. I didn't shout him out earlier. Shouts to Anthony Garcia. Shouts to, I think I said Hirsch already, right? Steve says they don't give prospects a chance. Some positions will be need to filled with homegrown talent. Can't have aging players from free agency at every position. That's absolutely correct. And Steve, I don't know if I've seen you in here, but be sure to hit that like button if you haven't already and subscribe. Let's get to 30 likes, people. We are 28. Pete Mancuso says the Yankees have paid for 3 so-called pitchers that aren't worth anything. What a waste.
Oh, that's right. We're also going dumpster diving. Remember, we picked up the one guy. What was his name? We picked him. What's that?
Was that Luke Bard you're talking about?
It wasn't Luke Bard. We picked up somebody else like yesterday, the day before, and now we're looking at Tyler Duffy.
Is he terrible though? Like, isn't he okay?
You look at his statistics. Tyler.
I want to know also, because I know Hirsch and a couple of the guys follow the minor leagues. Is there anyone in the minor leagues that are better than the guys that we have now, like Banda and all these other cats? Shouts to Medina, by the way.
Oh, that's right. Chichi Gonzalez.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Wilking Rodriguez.
That's Chichi Gonzalez, even though it's minor league contract, that is dumpster diving. But is anyone for instance, is anyone better than Anthony Banda? Is anyone better than we have now? I don't understand though why Lucas Lidke is kind of here.
Like why is claiming all these different guys, and they're
like
all
what attachment? To be fair, like you could talk about how they have attachment IKF because of the trade and Donaldson because of the trade, but why is Lidke here? Like, what's the attachment? What's the investment? $550K, if that, $1 million. Who do you replace Glaber with at second base long term? You could probably do a Peraza. He could play multiple positions. Same thing with Oswald Cabrera. But that's right.
Alex, the little Giants update. I say they claimed an offensive lineman.
What's the name?
Jack Anderson from the Eagles.
Jack Anderson. I don't know the name actually. So, no, there you go. Slash little Giants in this, but that's an offensive lineman, I guess.
He's a center or guard.
Well, I guess I'll be asking my Eagle fan friends who that is. But anyway, yep, Yankees signed Tyler Duffy.
Giants also claimed Jason Pinnock from the Jets.
We did?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people. I was expecting Tony Jefferson, but I know a lot of people wanted Jason Pinnock. But hey, Hal felt a little devious after buying into AC Milan. I bought a couple of minor league contracts. Yeah, that's devious. All right, that's devious. That's great right there. Um, but I want to come out to the central question of this, and let's get those likes up, people.
Yeah.
Incoming 4-13 for the Giants, actually 7-10 or 6-11.
I say minimum 4-13, 7-10 is their maximum.
Why do you support IKF Alexander? Now, if you're saying because he's on the team, that's understandable, but why is the question? Here's the central question we're going to go around to discuss, everybody. And I've been talking about this for like 2-ish, 3-ish weeks now. You take us out of the first place scenario. Take us out of that. We're back to 2021.
Exactly, we are.
Inconsistent lineups, all this other crap. Gleyber Torres doing Gleyber Torres things. Taking off days. Taking games off, all that stuff. Right? We love doing that right now. Is Aaron Boone a puppet again? Or is he in control and he is giving us bullshit? Luke, I want to hear your thoughts on that.
It's, again, we all praised Aaron Boone at the beginning of the year. I think he's regressed. I think most people think he's regressed, or at least a decent amount. It's interesting because it's like the Yankees said, okay, you had a great first half, Aaron. That it's like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. That's exactly what happened. The Yankees they're control freaks. They are control freaks. They decided to take over. And Aaron Boone couldn't really fight back against that. That's probably that. I think that falls on him too, because he's like, you know what? He should be like, you know what? First place team that really overachieved. And, let's keep this hot run going. I want to keep, writing my lineups and doing my stuff like that. Let me have the control, because that's what I was brought back here for. This guy is like, what, 3-4 more years in his contract? So.
Right. And, I guess in that situation, they don't feel it's the end of the world if they control him, because they have so much control down the line of Boone. Not that they're controlling him, but he gets to control some other stuff down the line because they got 3-4 years with him.
Also, a minor update, Alex. You also claimed Justin Lane from the Steelers.
That's a name.
I'm just
after
giving
the
you
Astros series management stepped in, it's very possible, honestly, and that's where you see. That's what happened after the fucking Astros series. Are we above 500 since then? Can anybody do the math? Shout out to Jared Miller, by the way. What's going on there? Marcos C says, I don't believe Aaron Boone is in charge at all. I honestly believe the Yankees brass takes over the decision-making. Why Showalter didn't sign with is why Eric Chavez just left. Just saying. And here's one thing that I want to bring up that Donald Stewart brought up on our podcast. Not this past Monday, but it was before he left for Florida. Is this, right? The Yankees, they have that same uppercut swing. Hicks, uppercut swing. Rizzo, he used to bat. Now, he did hit a homer last night, so I'm going to give him credit. What was I going to say? I'm going to give him credit there. But Rizzo is a guy that 250, 260, he hovered around that. He was struggling at different points in the year. Same uppercut swing. Hicks, uppercut swing. Joey Gallo, uppercut swing. It's pretty damn obvious. And why do I point to that all of a sudden? Because somebody brought up, I believe it was Marcos C, if I'm not mistaken, Eric Chavez. Originally signed to the Yankees as the hitting coach or assistant hitting coach. I forget which one. And what was one of the first things he said? One of the first things he came out and said was that batting average really didn't matter. And I flipped out on that. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? But guess what? When he goes to the Mets, what does he say? He endorses batting average.
It's all about vision, Alex.
It's a management thing that Mike Fishman gets in these guys' heads. And not that, these guys should stand for it, But Mike Fishman gets in these guys' heads and be like, "Oh, batting average doesn't matter."
Control freaks.
Absolutely control freaks. And once again, that makes me question, is Boone the actual manager or is he back to puppeting again? And honestly, it might be puppeting again. Because also as well, and this was even before we talked about the possibility of management caving back in. It's also this. I think I just lost my point, which is not a very good track for my mind. Joe Biden
Yes,
moment.
Zach Campbell, you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah. But Hirsch says, Alex, do you see a parallel between Boone banging the table and Fassel's pushing in all my chips to center table speech?
Boone banging the table did nothing for me personally.
Right. Oh, now I remember. Thank you very much. To be fair, I would have to acknowledge myself a little bit on that. Like, I know who Jim Fassel is, obviously. Rest in peace. I know what happened to the 2000 season, but I wasn't alive during that time. I would have to do a little bit of a history research. But it also comes to this, and this is just even before management stepped in. I know the point now. The Yankees are not a tough team. They let players walk on us like we're the fucking moon, okay? They let players walk all over us like we're a fucking doormat.
Tim Anderson, Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
We're fucking embarrassed in our own ballpark.
We're not mentally tough. We're a soft team. We're not grit and grind. And it applies, but it doesn't when it comes to the manager not disciplining players like Gleyber Torres.
Right. And whether you can debate, well, can he do that? Can he not do that? That's still a fucking issue. Because
he's too soft.
Here's what I want to say. And once again, going back to Boys in the Big Apple podcast. Donald, we were talking about the Gleyber Torres play where Pete Alonso, I think he tripped and then he went home, but Gleyber Torres could have got him out, but he went to second. He went to second, and he's like, "That's the worst play I've ever seen." And I'm like, Donald, you are missing something because that is the second worst play. The first worst play will always be that Gary Sanchez catcher thing. And guess what? Both of those fucking players have zero baseball IQ. You could be decent at baseball. You could be solid at baseball, but you have to have a baseball IQ. That's not, administered. That's up here. You got to have that since you're a child. As you're developing yourself in the game, you got to have baseball IQ. And Gleyber Torres, even through this whole fucking year, whether it's the first half, second half, struggling, not struggling, he doesn't have a baseball IQ. And let's see. I want to wonder what his average was around the trade deadline. Because if he was struggling, why didn't you move him?
I don't know. That's typical Yankees for you, sticking to things, completely deadening value. That's what is happening with Gleyber Torres happened with Gary Sanchez. And this will continue as long as Brian Cashman is general manager.
That's absolutely correct. Don Krill says Torres, zero baseball IQ. Farron Boone's father wasn't a player or a manager. He would have never played or managed. Boone has.
I don't think he would be a manager of the Yankees if he didn't hit that home run. Just saying. I'm going to put that out there.
Right. The pitcher could walk the bases loaded on 12 straight balls, and Gleyber would go up there and swing at the first pitch. He swings at 2-0. How many times have we seen him swing at 2-0 and he grounds out, he pops out, he lines out? There's no baseball IQ there. I don't care what anybody says. There is no baseball IQ. And then somebody came out with a homer tweet. Oh, Gleyber gets it more. The Gleyber's the new bunching bag. Fuck you. Stop being a homer.
He's
and
soft
actually,
and
this guy
whoever
sucks.
wrote that is soft. No, I think the guy's like, oh, everybody blames everything on Gleyber. He's soft and he lives in his parents' house.
Okay, taking a little cop pizzle there. Y'all know sports. The best coaches, managers are always role players. Boone knows about baseball. The problem is simple. He's scared to rock the boat to put his job in danger. And here's the problem I see with this team. Obviously, Boone is soft as a manager when it comes to disciplining players. And you know what's the worst part about it?
What?
The worst part about it is it's not like we have a Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving on this team
No.
controlling shit.
No.
It's actually the front office in that
In control
scenario,
freaks.
but it's still bad because we got Glaber Tor. We have either in lockstep or non-lockstep. And I talked about this once again a few days ago. I talked about it was that either the front office is in lockstep with the locker room in terms of taking games off. Shout outs to LI. They're either in lockstep with the front office locker room taking games off because they can, or it's the top making these moves, calling up Marinaccio late, calling up Cabrera late, and the locker room doesn't agree with it, or they don't agree with taking off games. So there's a bit of inconsistency.
What you're saying essentially is
I would like to say I feel like it's the first one where certain players are okay with taking off games, but hell,
that's what happens when you have lazy ownership, lazy management.
Like people were talking about, Luis Rojas is going to mean so much to this team. He's going to do that. Like what? That's why I said, other than the phantom first start of the season, this is the same old fucking Yankees. Front office versus players and Boone in the middle. Boone needs to pick a side and show some fucking balls then. You're getting paid how many millions for how many years? Shape up or show me your balls, I guess. I don't know. I took a Family Guy reference there. Get rid of JD, Torres, Hicks. We would save $70 million. And that's very possible. You could actually pile that onto what we're getting rid of next year. Like Tynes a free agent, Herman's a free agent, Finn's a free agent, Chapman's a free agent. That's probably around 40, 50 million combined with the 70 million you were just talking about, Pete. That could open up waves. We don't have to just get Judge. We could keep some of our guys with Peraza and Cabrera and all that stuff. Maybe go at Xander Bogaerts, right? Yeah. If he's a free agent, go at Xander Bogaerts.
I think the team it's either a player option or a team option.
Re-sign Andrew Benintendi.
Yeah, that's if they could utilize him correctly.
Well, I mean, that's
he's been hitting well in the top three of the order. Let's move him down to sixth.
And you know what? He hit a home run.
It makes no proverbial baseball sense.
No, he hit a home run last night. Where was he batting? Where was he batting, Luke, on the order?
I'm pretty sure he was batting leadoff, but I'm gonna double check again.
Just prove that point for me.
Let's roll back a day. He was batting second.
Right.
2 for 5 yesterday.
First or second, everybody. Goes back to the central point. First or second. And Rizzo did hit sixth and he hit the home run. But what was Rizzo hitting yesterday? He also hit a home run, right?
Yes.
So where was he hitting?
Rizzo was hitting let me see. Let me go back to the page again because I actually deleted it. August 30th. Weissert obviously got his first win. Rizzo was hitting fifth behind Stanton.
Okay, I could somewhat get along with that. Once again, we said the lineup wasn't bad yesterday.
It's the meat of the order.
Right. Like you could mix up Stan. Like Stan's hitting the ball hard a little bit. I'm still giving him some time to come back. So you could, teeter in between Stan and Rizzo or Rizzo and Stan. At least if your top three is Benny, DJ, and Judge, or it's DJ, Benny, Judge, that's a solid 5. But here's the thing. That's not going to be consistent.
Right.
We're not trading Herman. Herman's a free agent next year. That doesn't make any sense. And also, he's pitching well lately, so I can't see why would we do that, especially with Tyen going down. God knows how long he's going to be out. But why am I telling you this lineup isn't going to be consistent? It's because somehow tonight Josh Donaldson's going to creep up into the half of the order. Now, let me ask you a question. Trevino was playing last night, right?
Trevino, no, I'm sorry, Higashioka.
I thought he must have been playing game one then, right?
Yes, he was.
Why do I feel like he's going to start again tonight?
Who, Higgy?
Yeah.
That's right. Garrett Cole is on the mound.
Well, they flip him and Trevino a lot, but
yeah, there's no personal catcher business.
Well, now there isn't. But somehow Gleyber Torres and Josh Donaldson, I'm telling you guys, will find their way into the top 6 of the order. Shouldn't happen. And in my opinion, I think Oswaldo Cabrera should be hitting 6th. I don't care. Maybe he should be hitting in the lower half of the order to give them some spout. But at least he's a better ball player. And I know he's had a weird series in Los Angeles with the missed dive and the home run. That wasn't a home run. He dropped his bat and all that stuff. So, I don't know. The 1 through 5 should never change. DJ, Benny, Judge, Stanton, Rizzo. I'm glad that LI has jumped off the train of trading DJ because I think he's slowly coming to the realization that Gleyber Torres sucks.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? But Luca, if you want to go on to some other points.
We already talked about that. Have the Yankees given up on Chapman, Torres, and Hicks? Has Hicks been playing recently? I feel like
I can't say that he is too much.
I think the Yankees fully bought into the stock. Obviously, Stanton's back and Oswaldo Cabrera's here, so I think that's going to help, especially with Bader coming back soon. I think that's going to lower Hicks's case to be in the lineup.
Right. No, I definitely agree.
Chapman, I don't think they gave what?
You were saying?
I said Chapman, I don't think they gave up on. Torres, he is what
right,
he is.
But could they have waited a few days with this infection shit? Like, do you think an infection is actually going to take 15 days? Do you think they just said, look, we need relievers or whatever? Do you think they just shoved them off?
If the Yankees have enough bullpen pieces, I think they'll keep Chapman out of the loop. Joel Sherman put it out that he might not even be on the roster for postseason.
That's what I'm saying, because how, is an infection really taking 15 days? So usually, that's my opinion of where they give up on him. They find a slot to move him off.
Absolutely.
What was I going to say? Who gets the win tonight? Hopefully it's the Yankees, but we'll see. Carpe ain't coming back anytime soon, to be honest. Yeah, that's pretty much that. Shout out to JC in the chat. What's going on, JC? Li says, I'm not off the trading DJ train because this team sucks and they need to retool badly. Disagree.
He's off the DJ train?
What?
Did he just say he's off the DJ train?
No, he's not off the trading DJ train. So he could still want to trade DJ if it was in his control. How is he doing, DJ, by the way?
DJ currently hitting 271. I'm surprised he's gotten down that far. Just get him to 280 again. I still think he can hit at that level like he used to. I'm not saying he has to hit 300, but 280, 290, he's got to end the season with that. If that's the worst DJ can be, then I can kind of live with that.
So SI says, DJ, Benny, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, Carp, Waldo, Trevino, Bader for line. That would be an awesome lineup. I just think that's not going to be in real life because the Yankees are the Yankees, right? So that once again, that would be a great lineup. I don't think Carpenter's coming back this year.
I don't know. I think, Alex, I really think it depends on how far the Yankees get in the playoffs.
Right, but you can make shifts to the playoff roster in between series, right?
That's correct.
So, I mean, I guess there.
But who are you taking off the roster? Hicks? Probably the case, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get to that once we get to closer to playoffs. I think we can start doing rosters. We'll see.
I mean, yeah, I would hope so. But if you want to go on to some more points.
After that, we have Locastro instead of Florio.
See, here's the thing. I wouldn't have such an issue with that if Peraza was up. If Peraza was up and was making a difference in this lineup, I'm not saying other guys aren't, but if he was up in the big leagues and the Yankees actually did the right thing, I wouldn't even look at this. But because of the Yankees roster management, where they prioritize Tim LaCastro, who's a fucking role player, he steals bases. Wow. Where Florio can literally steal bases, hit for power. But I'm just gonna jump on that train again where I say Florio's ruined by the Yankees and he's not going to be good at the big league level, at least for the Yankees. I think somewhere else, but they didn't trade him. They don't have a plan.
Definitely.
They don't trade. They didn't trade him. They don't have a plan for him. That's what I feel, unfortunately. Your thoughts on that?
Not a surprise. It just defies all baseball logic, and not again, as I said, not a surprise. Florio sent back down. I don't think, you know what, I got to be fair. Kind of, he wasn't making the most of his opportunity. He was here and hit or miss, but I still take him over the Castro.
I think a fourth of him is better than LaCastro. A fourth of what he provides in the minor leagues. Same thing with Aaron Hicks. Are you interested to see what Bader looks like in a Yankee uniform? I know he'll be wearing the Jacoby Ellsbury jersey,
Yes.
but
He'll be wearing 22.
he'll be wearing 22.
Can somebody take the number 19, please? I have the number 19 in my closet. Nobody's taken it yet. I don't want Tyler Duffy taking it.
That would be interesting.
That would be warped.
Alexander says, guys, it's simple. The roster has what it takes. It's just how it's organized that's a problem. The plan, no consistency. There are some players you could talk about that they should not be on the Yankees. Like I know your feelings on IKF, but Donaldson, some other cats. But yeah, the organization in terms of how it's put together is terrible. Have you guys seen Gallo lately? Well, to be fair, I don't think he's done that good. I think a lot of people are overrating the fact that he's hitting home runs, but he hasn't done that. Are they going to make Bader get a haircut? Probably. Apparently, he already got it. But just out of sheer curiosity, how is Gallo doing in his last few games?
Gallo, let's see.
Last 30 maybe, because that's around the time he was traded.
All right, since Joey Gallo, since the third. All right. So far, he has 15 home runs. He's gotten to 15 now. In his last 7 games, a 158 with no home runs. Last 15 games, 179 with 3 homers, 8 RBIs. Same thing in the last 30, 196 with 3 homers and 8 RBIs. So I actually can simplify his stats with his Dodgers: 3 homers, 8 RBIs, 196. Not all that impressive.
No, I mean, he's around what he could be very slowly, but, I'm blocking out the noise. I think it's a little bit overrated, what people are talking him up as.
Right.
That's my opinion. Any more points to bring up and all that stuff?
He did that. How, your personal opinion of Oswaldo Cabrera?
If he finishes now, I think he's hitting like the 260s right now.
240.
240. Okay. Even if he finishes the year with like 220, and this is the same thing that I thought about Aaron Judge a few years ago. Not that the player by any stretch of imagination. But with that being said, we're looking at the future a little bit. Cabrera could be a what's the word that everybody was using? The fucking word.
What is that word? What you gotta give me a hint.
Spike? What did they use?
What?
What was a fucking, I don't know why I'm being stupid right now, but what's the word that we needed? Oh, I think Cabrera could be a spark later down the season. But I really like his ceiling. MH, what's going on?
MH.
But yeah, I've liked Cabrera so far. He's had some minor mistakes.
He's been really good defensively though, on the most part.
Hopefully the Yankees don't come out and ruin him. Don't turn him into this uppercut swing bullshit like they've done with a lot of their guys. Don't do that. Leave him the way he is. Steal bases, whatever. Fine. Yankees Fresh says IKF to me is the third best on the Yankees. What do you guys put him? Stanton? What do you mean by that? IKF is what we need? Not in the long term, bud. Not in the long term.
He's
no.
a stopgap. He's a stopgap.
He's a stopgap. Everybody looks at offensive stats, but do we forget that he's committed like 15 errors this season? Come on. No. IKF is not what we need. Cabrera is what we need. And Peraza is what we need.
Defense and good offense. Solid offense.
Exactly my point.
He actually Oswaldo Cabrera actually hits the ball hard.
Jared, what are you fighting with people in the chat for? I think they're talking about the hair policy. I don't even care about the hair policy.
I don't care about it.
Moot point.
That is a moot point. You know what? I got to add that to the bingo card.
Moot point. Yes, we're gonna come out with bingo cards on catchphrases, and then we'll send them out to everybody before every show. Ridiculous for being okay with a man growing facial hair. LMAO. I know everybody's fighting with that, but I just don't care. He doesn't blow. That's extreme. Well, IKF blows on defense.
Yep.
That's what I can say about that. But with that being said, Luca, if you have anything to share, if we didn't go over anything, or if you want to just jump to final thoughts.
We could jump to final thoughts. I think everything else is a moot point.
Okay, then final thoughts.
Happy to be back on here after 2 weeks. Florida was great. Obviously, the Yankees are not, but also, thank God football's starting soon. That's all I'm going to say. But appreciate every single one of you. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and buy your tickets to NY News TV night, the sequel, October 11th in Brooklyn.
Right. And also, guys, can we get to 40 likes?
Yeah, come on.
Let's get to 40 likes. Let's get to 40 likes. Come on. I don't think I'm gonna leave till we get 40 likes up in this bitch. Okay? 40 likes. Guys, the hair policy is necessary to test commitment to discipline. I guess that's a point.
That's what it was. That's what it always was.
Yankees Fresh is a Bucks fan. Well, I'm a Giants fan, so yeah. All right. So let's get those likes up to 40. Let's get those likes up, and then we will pop out of here. But my final thoughts, football's coming soon. Obviously, I got to look and see who the Giants actually got off the waiver wire. College football also starts soon, but the Yankees just need to be a little bit more consistent for me to be positive about them. And they haven't been consistent since the Astros series. So what can I say? It's also, as Lucas said, buy your NY News TV Day sequel tickets. Buy them. Let's get those likes up to 40, as we did. But with that being said, peace out, guys. See you later, and see you in the next episode.
Later.
Before it hits the front page.